Before we got our, let's see, 93, probably about 91 to 93, like 2 years I worked there.
Okay.
But we couldn't work in the same store. So
Right.
the manager here, his wife went to work for Ray, and I went to work for her husband. So we traded like, here's the photograph for the wolf though, if you want.
I'm in there. You can tell. I don't know if you can tell how
Oh
I am.
my god.
I had all my
Look at
hair.
that hair.
I was a handsome
That's
guy.
yours.
And wear a suit too. You didn't
That
like
is really
that, did you?
cool, Yeah.
That's what your little boy's gonna look like.
Oh no. What if it's a girl? We want him to look like that.
Yeah, that's really neat to hear. Okay, so you both have retail experience.
Uh-huh.
You had that under
Right.
your belt.
Yeah.
So, Marla, when you mentioned the Hallmark ornaments, like you were just a fan of
Yeah.
Hallmark.
I just like to buy them.
Did you realistically think that you would have your own?
No.
So
No.
when you said it, did you think it would come true?
No, not really. I thought, dream on, girl, you know? Because we had, what was it, 100,000? Didn't we have to take out a loan for that
Oh, we had to mortgage a house and everything.
and pay it
And
off?
we're, like I put on there, a lot of my friends they thought about doing things, but they never did because they
No.
didn't want to reach
That's
out.
risky, right?
Yeah.
Risky,
Yeah.
yeah. Because in between all this, which I didn't put in there, we had a transmission business in Kissimmee
Oh.
on 192 and 1792, right there in the corner by the Amoco. There's a transmission place on the corner there of 192 in Kissimmee.
Uh-huh.
As you go downtown, almost downtown, and I was out just a little ways on Orange Blossom Trail, heading that way. And I was there a year, and I finally decided to sell it, and I sold it.
It wasn't for us.
Broke even. 3 years later, the guy went broke, and he lost everything. We were fortunate, I could say, but
Yeah.
I wanted to try something else out. And I thought that retail is my thing. I like retail,
Mhm.
so I got back into retail. That's why I went to Walmart after that, kind of.
Okay, so that was pre-Walmart.
Right,
What year was the transmission business?
64.
Okay.
Wait, 84.
No, 84, yeah.
Kevin worked with me at the Fox and Hound,
Mm-hmm.
a men's store. That was in between.
Oh, okay.
I had left
Aw.
the transmission to go work for Ron Smith, which had the men's store downtown Cleveland. It was a men's, ladies, clearance, lunch counter,
Mhm.
and Kevin worked there with Keith too, right?
Mhm.
Straightening and that, and that was just in between. I had no ambitions. I hated clothes.
Was he the one that could read minds or something?
Yeah, he was a psychic, like. I know it's hard to believe, but he could. One time he shook a guy's hand. After the guy left, he says, "He's gonna die." I mean, I had something in my pocket with a 7 on it. And he says, you got something in your pocket that's got a 7 on it." Sure enough.
Oh, gee.
Oh, that's
He-
weird.
And he said his daughter looked like Epher's the Egyptian princess, Ephroditus or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he sometimes he would get,
And your birthday's December 7th.
well,
He
yeah,
was
that's in there.
mentioning 7,
But
yeah.
he had a desk, and he had one big light coming down at the center of his desk. Would come, you go in his office at night, and he'd be out in pitch black and just the light.
Oh, gee.
Real character, but he's passed away since then. I understand
Yeah.
he's gone, but yeah, he was 3 years I worked for him, and then I went to Walmart. When they called me from the store there, and I couldn't talk. The guy says, we have a place for you. We're gonna put you in well, that's good, okay. Well, you don't sound excited. I said, I can't. Because they were in the next room listening. They knew something was up. The people that worked there, they knew something was up. And so then I went to Walmart in Lake Wales. Short time there, then I went downtown. Well, I went to Lakeland, South Lakeland. Worked out in the district manager's office. And then from there, I got,
Didn't you have to go meet somebody to tell them you had a new Hallmark store? You had to go to lunch with somebody to tell them you were quitting because you bought a Hallmark store?
oh yeah, well, back, like I stayed in there 3 years. We had the Hallmark store, and I worked for Walmart too. But during that 3 years, I was working at Walmart and then working with her at night and weekends at the store. And then we opened a second store came available down in Punta Gorda. We'd been going down there and going to the mall there, which was a real nice mall. That remember that mall, Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Lake Punta Gorda Mall, that one that had the double glass. And the lady in there was going to retire. Her mother was really sick, and she said, "I'm going to sell." So I said, "What do you want for it?" I mean, and she said, and we took another loan and got that store.
Oh, wow.
And I stole the manager from another Hallmark store, which a guy got mad about that, of course. And that's when I went into the main. I told my district manager that I said, I'm going to be leaving. I'm retiring from Walmart. I got my own Hallmark stores. He said, Hallmark stores? Really? Where? I said, mile up the road. I got one.
Wait. Didn't your boss's wife came in the store and saw me working there? And I said, yeah, I'm just kind of got a little part-time job. I had to lie because
okay.
then I don't think she. But then you had to go and have lunch with him and say that we're going to be having our own business.
Yeah, I told myself I'll get my 2 weeks notice. I said,
Yeah.
I'm burned out. I said, I need my own thing. I
Yeah.
said, I'm going to try this Hallmark. I said, I have a second store. And listen, before all that Christmas, prior to this, the Haines City store, Christmas Eve, they broke into the safe and stole all the money. And the alarm, I left that store that night, it was raining. I'll never forget, it was raining. And on the microphone, I always said, like, okay, I'm the last one out. If there's anybody else in the store, the dogs will be let loose in 2 minutes, and they'll eat you alive and crap like that. So I set the alarm, and just before I set it, I guess, the guy in the back, he must have broken into the safe room where the money was, put a hand over the sensor, which blocked it out, see? They knew how to do all this. And then they hacksawed, they got the safe room, got all the money, left the checks and everything else. But when the cops were coming, because they went out, they popped open the back door, the alarm went off, I was ready to pretty well probably home. And the cops came around back, there was a van leaving from behind. But they thought right away it was just a false alarm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they came in and they called me up, and me and Marla went there that Christmas morning. We were there.
Yeah, I remember that.
District manager, security from Woolco. I mean Walmart, and they couldn't figure out what had happened. They set all of us down as if we're all suspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first one to take the polygraph test. I said I never had things strapped on your fingers and around your chest, and they asked me all kinds of questions, and I came through. I passed. They did find out who broke in, so it had to be an inside job, I think. Nobody else would have known our system.
Mm-hmm.
I made the rounds at night before I left. I made sure all the doors were locked. Everything was secure. They were hiding in the stock room. They had to be hiding somewhere.
Mm.
And when I got to the front to start making my stupid announcements, that was the key for them to break in and get in before I set the alarm. But anyhow, so that's where a lot of talk was after that I had stolen money. Ended up buying the store, so that was not the case because
Yeah.
I already had the one
You
store.
already had it.
I had loans. I told them, I said,
Yeah,
police, I said,
Look at the bank.
I told them, please, check my accounts, check everything. I mean, there's no trail, there's no paper trail,
No.
money trail.
That'd be stupid to get caught like that,
And what I didn't put in my thing was the fact that when you take a loan out, you pay it off as fast as you can. You
Yeah,
don't want that bank to get all the interest money.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what we did. Our philosophy, money, the house, everything, pay it off or pay cash for it. Don't have any loans out where you're paying interest on nothing. Like Kimmy in New York, renting that house or that apartment, all these years, and nothing to show for it. That's her thing. She's happy. That's fine. everybody got their own thing, but ours was, my mother always said, because she came up through the Depression, you don't, you save everything. You save, you don't spend foolishly and do stupid things, because too many people, before the bubble burst, they were buying houses, like huge houses and mansions, and they lost it all. They couldn't make their payments.
So let me backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, backtrack.
On the process of getting your first store. Like how long did it take since you filled out the application to the purchasing?
About 4 months.
It didn't take that long, like I
No.
thought.
No, that's pretty quick.
Well, then you have to be approved by Hallmark too.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta financially be approved by them.
Yeah.
And have
Oh, yeah.
line of credit,
Oh, you
you
wanna
know,
say.
and all
No,
that.
it's on video.
Oh, okay.
So we did all that paperwork.
So they obviously probably do like a background check.
Yeah, they did all that.
Okay.
They took our history,
Okay.
business, because you don't just want, you can't come in there like some Doomkoff and try to take over a business. You wouldn't know the first thing about running it. And we didn't know anything about running it, really. I mean,
No, it's just trial
we
and error.
learned, she didn't know anything about,
No.
Hallmark. But we try to buy, we'd go to the Webster Flea Market. You ever been there?
Yep.
You gotta take it to Webster Flea Market someday. It's unique.
More junk.
It's like a bunch of rednecks, really. It's up there in Webster. It's just a little ways north of where you guys are. And we went there and would buy crap to take back and sell at the store.
Just
We
to
didn't
get
know what to
started.
buy. We didn't know what.
Yeah.
And then finally, we went to the show in Atlanta. We couldn't believe we didn't have any money. But with 3 years of working for Woolco, Walmart, we had invested all the money from the store back in the business. You got to do that. So I was living off of Walmart, and all the money from the store, and we were doing like $200 a day, $150. It wasn't much at all because the people before us, she was a school teacher and he was a real estate person. So they didn't know much about retail either. And they weren't aggressive, put it that way. So we built up the business over the years, and now it's turned into a damn monster.
So the first store, the funding, you said you had to mortgage the house
Yeah, mortgage the house,
and
take a loan out through Hallmark,
okay, from Hallmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commerce Bank.
Commerce Bank was their lender.
Right, and they got a good rates too, so we did that.
So how long did it take for you to pay off the loan? Was it years
Well,
or?
We had to also take a loan out through the people that own the business,
Oh.
which I would never do. But it was a personal loan for like $15,000 or something like that, where we paid him back. We paid him back first, and down the road, a few years later, we paid back the Hallmark loan. And a few years later, we paid off the house loan. So about 6-7 years, we had to pay it. We paid everything off. Because we just invested. We didn't do anything on it for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right. You didn't reap any of the benefits.
No.
Right. We didn't buy
No.
new cars or anything like that. We,
Right.
Yeah. Try to get the business up and
Mhm.
running.
You want to
Yeah.
live within your means. Yeah.
So what did you? So the money you borrowed, like what was that used for? Was it just basically keeping the lights on, paying employees?
Well, we had to pay the people off the fixtures, the equipment, the inventory, and then the money through. Then I had to pay with the Hallmark money. That also went to him because it was like $80,000. We had to pay him. We paid him most of it through the Hallmark, and the rest we took out personal loan.
Yeah.
But I pulled a deal which he thought let's say he thought he had $80,000 in inventory. So I said to him, I said, well, if it's anything over that, then it's mine. So if we have a crew come in, I find it's more than that, then that's gravy for me. which I had no idea. So it came out like 17,000 over that. And he lost out on that. He even mentioned, he says, "You got me there, didn't you?" I said, I didn't have any idea it was going to be that much. I
Could
said,
have gone the other way.
and in the thing he had written out, that's what he lived up to it, So fortunately, I got it for less than what it was. But a lot of the junk in there, merchandise, was overinflated anyhow. Like he had stuff in there like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Then we had to mark it down.
Wasn't worth
right?
anything. So
Yeah.
in essence, we came out ahead, but not that much. I didn't cheat him. I never cheated anybody.
So Hallmark is considered a franchise, right?
No,
It's not.
it's not a franchise. No, you don't pay a monthly fee. You're not buying anything from them, really. You're buying the merchandise from them.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all. And you follow their rules. You buy their equipment and stuff. But there's no monthly fee, no over and above fee.
So it's individually owned, each individually owned.
Yeah, most of the stores are individually owned.
It's
There
owner operated?
are some corporate stores
Did
too.
you tell her we had 4 stores though, right?
Well, yeah, I put it there.
Okay, yes, we had 4 stores. So
Oh,
then we lowered it to the 2 now.
well, yeah, I put it in there. I think
Yeah.
Punta Gorda, Sarasota, Port
It's a little
Charlotte,
easier to handle, so.
Lakeland.
What out of the 4 stores when you had them, which one was most profitable?
This one, Lakeland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Lakeland so successful?
Well, we don't
We don't take a draw.
ourselves,
We don't take any money out.
so we're there all the time and we save
Mhm.
money that way.
Right. At the end of the year, it shows up, but we're there all the time. We know what's going on. We run the store. We buy,
Hands
so.
on, yeah.
And the second is Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, because Nancy's down there. She's a seasoned
Mhm.
Hallmark manager that does good for us down there.
Yeah.
And Punta Gorda store was really a small, dinky little store, but it drew the people. It had its own clientele, and it was a good little store. Made money. Sarasota, not so much. It was more a hazard. I mean, a pain in the butt than anything. We got rid of it finally.
And so for all 4 stores, the prior owners just happened to put it up for sale. Is that how you
With the second,
acquired it?
what's that? Which one?
The 4
All
stores.
4.
All 4.
No, like I wrote on there. The first store we purchased, second store we purchased, third we opened, fourth we opened. So we did, and we did probably close to $2 million in sales with all 4 stores. Now we're doing about $1,200,000
With 2 stores.
2 stores.
Annually?
Yeah.
And so it's funny because you don't see a lot of Hallmarks anymore,
No.
right? But
No,
for some reason,
most of them are getting the leases.
yeah.
They want too much for the leases, and there's a lot of competition out there
Mm-hmm.
with
Right.
with all the other stores that sell cars. But
Yep.
our key is customer service, and we sell things that they don't sell in other stores. You have to reach your what's called niche.
Mhm.
You gotta find things that they don't sell that you can exploit, like inspirational things.
What's an example of like a product at your store? That's
Willow
specific
Tree,
to
the
you?
angels,
Willow Tree or Jim Shore that keeps
and
himself.
Jim Shore, and the ornaments.
The ornaments and let's see what else.
Oh, it's just
Yeah, like
everything.
baby books, wedding books.
Anniversary,
things like that.
wedding.
Yeah.
Special occasions. Plus, we have the incentive of the Gold Crown card with points. They get points.
Well, in the
So-
Lakeland Mall, that store went out. That Hallmark store, so everybody's got to come to us. We're the only ones with ornaments in Lakeland or surrounding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come to us.
Yeah, and Marlo's personality too.
I save things for people. Like, oh, promise you'll save me that. So I
It's
got
that
bags.
it's that one-on-one service people like to see.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You go into a big box store, there's nobody
Yeah.
to take care of you.
yeah, they
know?
don't care about you. You
You're
know.
like lost in there, and over the years we build up a good clientele. People know that we carry it. They can come in, they buy it, and they can get out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now with the COVID, they know there's no crowds. They can just come in, and you know,
Yeah.
really want.
So do you have like a certain target demographic for your customers?
Well, just Lakeland's older people.
Mhm.
Port Charlotte's younger people,
Mhm.
Canadians,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
younger people that have more money in Port Charlotte.
And younger people use the computer or whatever you do. Older people want the card. They don't want to do it on the computer. You know, like happy birthday, mom, or
The
whatever.
handwritten,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
And you got to carry the up-to-date things too. What's selling?
Yeah.
You got to keep turning your merchandise over with what's what's happening at that time.
Mhm.
Like now it's masks.
Right.
I mean, who would have thought? You know.
Whole year probably.
Oh no, that's a good point. So you're constantly having to adjust.
You got to adjust to the
Yeah.
trend, to the
Yeah.
trends of the customer.
Right.
You know, self checkout we have when they around the store screaming with merchandise they stole.
You go tackle them, right?
Not anymore. I got broken ribs. Oh, you can. I got broken ribs. I had knives pulled on me, scissors pulled on me.
Not a Hallmark.
My life threatened.
God.
Not at Hallmark.
No,
No.
I don't, Mark.
Oh my goodness.
I don't like guns
Well,
and knives.
Detroit. In Detroit,
Oh,
I was. Everybody in the bank. I don't know if I told you this already, but right across from our store was the bank. All the tellers would face. They could see outside what's going on. And one day they see me chasing a lady down the street with a kid. Nowadays you don't do that. It was all black. I mean, all black. I was the only like white, blue-eyed guy there. They call me. But a little bit later on, they see the lady chasing me with a knife back in the store.
Did you run?
I ran like hell. She handed me she had a pocket book full of nylon she had stolen.
Wow.
She gave me back, then she reached in and pulled this knife out. Can I get you, boy? So she started chasing me with this knife, like dragging the kid behind her. And I'm running back to the store, and I run back, and I ran inside, so I had a baseball bat. So I stood there with the front door, the baseball bat, so she just disappeared in the crowd. The people at the bank, they said they saw me running up, they said, coming back. They thought that was the funniest thing. And my assistant was, one night he was working there, and somebody stole something and got out of the store. Right in the middle of the main road with all the traffic, he jumped on the guy, broke his leg. The guy went to jail for stealing, but my guy got a broken leg. It's very dangerous down there at night, a certain time. But mostly everybody else is, like I told them, great. Great to work with, no problems. And so it's just like a distant memory now. I can still think back and
it's vivid, obviously.
oh yeah, it's everything that happened there. People would get off one bus and they'd all go charging to the corner and get on the other bus.
That's why we like Hallmark
It
now.
was
It's
like a
nice and
chain
safe.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked. He had the store in Detroit, wasn't it? And I worked up the street at the bank, and my friend and I were taking the bus to go down to go to Ray's store. So we were sitting this way, and there was two black guys sitting this way. We were laughing because something happened to that the day at the bank. So the guy thought we were making fun of him. He reached up and smacked my friend in the arm real hard, and then he just sat back. And so I says, and she was going to go on to the next stop. I said, "You're getting off with me." And I said, "Ray's going to drive you home." I said, we were the only two white girls on the bus. You know, it was like Detroit,
Yeah,
downtown.
but most everybody was,
Yeah, most of
okay.
them, yeah.
But a few, but after when
Yeah,
King was assassinated, that's when it got bad. Really.
yeah.
I was there. I lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
National Guard tanks. I mean, up and down Grand River and Joy Roads, and It's terrible.
That was a tough
Yeah.
time, wasn't it? 2 years we were there.
Yeah, they burned their own neighborhoods down too. Everything around it was
Yeah.
burned. All the black businesses were burned by black people. You know, it makes you wonder, you know, like what's going on now?
Yeah.
It's like it goes in,
Spurts like that.
It's like a
yeah,
cycle.
yeah, cycles. Yeah, it's just no sense to it at all. Hatred, you know. But anyhow, getting back to keep going.
Yeah, but complete opposite of Lakeland, your experience in
Yeah.
Detroit.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But besides like some of that danger, did you have any risk other than putting up, you know, your mortgage and your family starting like
Just determination is knowing we couldn't fail.
there was
Yeah,
no
you know
Yeah.
you don't fail
And
either.
we had to give up some things, you know, to get to our dream. You know, I mean, like, you know, not overspending or buying
Mm.
things, or because we knew what we wanted to do, what was ahead of us.
Yeah, we had 6 kids. We sold 3 of them.
Where's that money?
So who was in charge of like the household finances? Like who kept
Oh, you
track
took
of
care
it?
of checks,
Then,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she had the checkbook. She
Yeah.
took care of all the
I took
house.
care of all that, and
Yeah.
groceries and stuff.
She
Did
ran
you
the
have-
house. I was by the time I got home, had my couple of beers and sat down because you have to unwind because after when you work with 200 people,
Mhm.
well, you work with people too, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
Like kind of like sometimes you know it's like tough days.
Mhm.
Like home after a couple of beers, like on the way home I get my Mickey beers. On the way home so by the time I go home I come in the door and get in the couch and
And then with the 3 kids when they were little, I didn't work. So see,
Yeah.
for a long time I said to Keith, he bought me some Reeboks. I've only had cheap tennis shoes my whole life, you know, because I stayed home. I didn't spend money, didn't buy clothes, you know, jewelry, stuff like that. Because I thought he's making a living. I got to putting 3 kids in daycare. That would have been a killer. So I took care of mostly the other stuff, and I think I took care of some babies too while my kids were, you know.
Yeah.
A couple babies. Their moms asked me if they asked me. I didn't beg them, but so I had a lot of like maybe 5 kids that day. But I made a little extra money to help, you know, groceries and stuff.
but every year we took a vacation. Every weekend that we were off, we went
Somewhere,
fishing, took the boat out,
Disney or
Disney, yeah,
the beach or something.
Busch Gardens, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we'd always do something.
yeah.
Never sit home. My
Right.
neighbor at the old house, I said, Ray, the way you guys are going, you're not gonna live too long. He said, you never relax. You're
Yeah,
always
and I
going."
don't think the kids didn't know that we didn't
I
have a
know,
lot
where
of
I get it
money
from.
either. And we always did something with them, you know, to know that when they grow up, but they didn't know that we didn't have a lot of money because we just had fun, you know, swimming or
Well, we knew how to save and
We knew how to,
the money
you know,
we did
save
have,
it
we
and then
used
go and use it and then
Yeah.
save it again.
buy shrimp to fish with and gas to get over to Tampa.
Yeah.
So you were always accustomed to that lifestyle,
Uh-huh.
having to sacrifice.
Yeah,
certain
and I'm
things.
from one of 6 kids, so there was 8 of us.
Mhm.
So we knew, you know, you get stuff sometimes and other times you don't, you know.
Yeah.
And so with the so your current stores, I guess, how did you start off, like staffing wise? Was it just the 2 of you, and then you like
Start off
gradually
what?
grew
Staffing.
the staffing, like?
Oh, we
employees?
inherited people.
We kept the
Oh, you
people
We
that were
kept all
there.
the old people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were experienced and they knew everybody and,
Yeah, we didn't get rid of anybody.
no.
So
We
that's a challenge, like
Mm-hmm.
acquiring prior employees. Sometimes they're loyal. So the previous owner, did you guys have any like challenges or issues with
As long as I got paid weekly,
that?
it's like when you feed a dog. That's your best friend. You know, like yesterday, Chewy was here, and I had a piece of chicken, and I put it down like this, and he ate that. We kept more. You know, the paw, more. They
He
go
kept
tomorrow.
scratching my knees. I said, I
Yeah.
have nothing. But he'd go around.
No, but then
He was in the bathroom with me. I said, Chewy, get out of
we
here.
found middle-aged women are the best ones to have because you get younger ones. even at Wilco, we try to get higher, older, mature people because, oh, the beach, oh, the sun. Next day, they call us sick. Oh, I got too much sunburn and I with the flu. You know, like, duh. I mean, they're loyal, and the older generation knew how to work. I mean, they had scruples, and they stayed with the job too. So we always tried, even with wars too. I had older people, older women,
You just found they were more disciplined.
more disciplined from the old school. And they knew how to work and not get around the system.
So right now in Lakeland, how many employees do you have?
And fine.
5, yeah. Counting you and me.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. We try to pay them good, treat them good, and they work on a schedule. They're not set like with Walmart. For a while, Walmart was doing stuff out of their home offices. Either you work the schedule we have for you, or you're fired. You know, you don't have a job. That's the wrong way to do things. You know. So we learned that the girls kind of work amongst themselves about working. We get doctor's appointments and things. So it's a very little pressure job for them.
Yeah. You almost feel like it's a second family.
Yeah, we've had them around, so kind of like our moms.
guess,
So
yeah.
We're getting their age now.
Yeah.
And then the one down in Punta Gorda, you said Nancy manages that store, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Port Charlotte. Punta Gorda was destroyed in '05 by Hurricane Charlie. I didn't put that down there because that,
Oh, okay.
you know, I don't know if you want to, that's irrelevant. I mean, it's just, I think it kept going on and get more, going into more detail, but I was trying to give you a, you know, like an overview of
So we just kind of let it go then. We
well,
didn't
the
redo it.
hurricane was coming up the coast. And nobody was prepared for it. They thought it was going to hit Tampa. So everybody's at the store working, you know, all of a sudden they said, it came out all over that the Hurricane Charlie is curving in towards Punta Gorda. Like that. So everybody ran like hell. I mean, everybody just panicked. And it came right, we were watching television and it showed the eye going right over the 41s. The 41, which go north and south over the bridge. And right in the middle was where Punta Gorda Mall was, and the eye goes right over our store. And I'm thinking, and they said at the time like 190 mile an hour wind. It was very category 5 it had come ashore as. So I knew it was destroyed. The store was totally destroyed. The shopping center was destroyed. Punta Gorda was pretty well destroyed. The National Guard was out there with
That was 2004.
Weather Channel, and all the news stations were out there in our mall. We got a big parking lot. All their vans were lined up there, doing live shots of the damage caused by the hurricane. We were on TV for a short time. They interviewed us.
Yeah, we drove down there, and they says, "Sir, you can't park there." He says, "That's my store right there." He said, "Oh, pull in, get in there."
Well, I had a truck. I was trying to salvage what I could.
Yeah.
And they were all, by the time, the first time we went down the first day. Well, a couple of days later, you couldn't go down. But the roads were cleared enough to where we could get through with the floods and all that. And we got down there, and it was like desolate. The trees were all bare. All the towers were all bent over. The telephone poles are down. It was like a different world down there. And then,
National Guard was there, right?
no, not the first time.
Oh,
No,
the
not the
second,
first day.
oh, not the first.
Not the
day.
first couple
No,
days, no.
That's right.
Then we got to the store and we looked at it, and the whole front was all smashed in. The roof was crushed off, and the guy was there that owned the center, and he had told us that we were out of the lease because he had no insurance on the building. He lost everything. So we went back a couple days later, and that's when National Guard had gotten set up then with
Oh, that's
water,
right,
FEMA,
Mm-hmm.
and they were giving stuff out to people lining up for food. All the restaurants were cooking all their food up as fast as they could to give it away free because we had no power.
Mm-hmm.
And cell service was bad. It was like being in a war zone. And we shoveled away to get to the front of the store, well, Danny and Chris, my friends from Holly, Florida, they came over here and they said, I said, we could use your help. And her brother called too, and I said, we can use your help. They all,
They don't want to come down.
well, they were going to,
They
I want
would
help.
go to.
If you need help, we'll help you.
Yeah, we were cleaning up and everything, and the TV stations came there, and they says to me, "We're gonna get you on film." And I said, "I gotta get in my car and comb my hair." No, we want you to look this bad.
Yeah,
So
so we,
they saw some of us in Ohio, didn't they?
yeah, we backed up our truck with like a Penske truck, like Hertz.
Mm-hmm.
It had shovels and rake, we had all kinds of stuff. We took gas down, generator. So we knew we had water. We took our own cooler. We started shoveling the glass
Oh my
to
god.
get in the store. It was just like we had to make a walkway through the glass. It was glass all over. And next door was a sushi place, and the food started rotting.
Smelling.
And down a little ways down was ice cream parlor. It was
Oh my god.
terrible. And Bell's was next door, and their front was all knocked down. There's clothes all over the place. I mean, nobody was looting. Nobody was doing anything bad.
Yeah.
They're too shocked, I guess. And we got in the store finally, and everything was wet. Everything. I salvaged a lot of stuff because we salvaged the merchandise.
Oh, okay.
Like, see that bird right there, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hard stuff you could salvage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
The ornaments on the walls we salvaged, but the boxes were all destroyed.
Yeah.
And I took the cash registers, we put them in the back of the truck. About that time, here comes this newscaster. And Danny knew him from watching Channel Tampa Station. He said, "Hey, so-and-so." He says, "What are you doing here?" So I'm just filming all this devastation.
Mhm.
And my friend Danny, I can see the expression on his face because he said, he saw this guy on television, never in person.
Mhm.
And so he interviewed us and talked, and then we kept coming back there. But then we drove to the other store. And we were warned ahead of time that when it came down to not be too, it was bad. So we cried. It was just terrible.
Yeah, you just wanted to cry and give up. You just
The other
thought,
store was bad. The ceiling tiles were all off. The
where do
water
you
all over.
start?
But we salvaged a lot out of that store,
Mhm.
and it was open within 5. It took 5 weeks to get that store open in Port Charlotte. But Punta Gorda, I got as much as I could. Then the mold starts setting in. After a couple weeks, and 95 degrees, you're going in there and you can't breathe. We even had masks. We found some
Yeah.
masks, and it was just we salvaged everything we could.
So what happened to the things that were just damaged you couldn't save? Did you
Well, the
take a
insurance
loss?
Nationwide came by,
Okay.
and he said, "Wow," he said, "Punta Gorda," he said, "this is pretty bad." I said, "Yeah, look." And on the way down, he had a flat tire on the road because of all the nails and stuff. So he came in, he wrote a check out for like $50,000. He said, "That's the most I can write out." And then we got down the road, we got more. But then we went to the other store. He says, "Oh boy, yeah, double whammy." He says, "This is really bad too." He said, "Another check for $50,000." I mean, we needed cash because we needed new carpet, new ceiling tiles,
Yeah.
new lights, new fixtures, new. Oh my God. New merchandise. So the insurance paid for the damages. Thank goodness we had
That's
good
good.
insurance. But that was a bad time for us.
So,
So-
from there, you chose to close one store.
Well, Punta Gorda, we had no choice. We just
Yeah.
had,
You just had
it blew away. Put it that way. But fortunately, we had Port Charlotte. Then down the road, I opened Sarasota, and then we closed that. Then we went to, we focused on this store here.
So what made you guys decide to stay here and not move?
I like the area, schools, the kids are growing up small.
Okay.
I did was I knew I would leave this place because if we were to leave, where would we be, right?
Mhm.
We wouldn't be here. And really, we bought the lots for the future, but we decided to build a couple years later, which we did. And then one thing led to another, and then, you know, and we decided to just stay here and work over in Lakeland.
Let's talk about merchandise. Do you guys work with any other vendors?
Lots of vendors,
How many vendors?
like 150.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can, and it's unlimited. When you go to the Atlanta Gift Mart, you can spend weeks there and go through all their showrooms and see all they got to offer. And they have it all displayed, and you find somebody to wait on you, and you just go along and order the stuff. And our credit is pretty good, so we have a good credit sheet. And sometimes I have to pay with credit card, which is fine.
Did you tell Kevin how much they raised your credit card to?
Well, I can take $26,000.
Alright.
I said, how much?
Huh?
I never buy anything.
Yeah, and I told you guys to use our Choice Privileges motel play.
Yeah, anytime. He always buys everything, and like we told Kim, if they have to go up Sunday night early, if they want to spend a night, we got plenty of points
Okay.
Oh wow.
for an emergency.
Five
You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
5 motels, different ones.
Yeah.
Econo Lodge, Comfort Inn,
Mm.
Serenity, something like that.
So
But-
for the ordering process, do you two work together to do that with the vendors, or is one person in charge and
We both,
Kind of,
both
yeah.
coordinate?
yeah.
I do a lot of collectibles is what I would focus on, you know, like Jim Shore, Willow Tree, the Angels, just anything you can pick up that, like Keith or Kimmy might see it at a store and it's doing really well.
Mhm.
They'll tell us, like mugs go like crazy, you know, if you get the right.
Well, when it comes to merchandising, 60% is Hallmark,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and then 40% is what we buy.
Allied,
Allied, we
Okay.
call it.
we call
But
it.
we there's no way of tracking it now, so we probably have 50-50 now.
Mm-hmm.
But Hallmark usually has a good merchandise, that quality merchandise, and really they have a Hallmark channel now too, which helps us out.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like Ty, you know, Ty the plush.
Mhm.
We used to do a lot more of
Oh
that.
yeah.
And
That's
if I
kinda
see
like
something I like in a book or something, I'll call the firm, get a catalog,
Okay.
and we'll order it. Either do terms or
Yeah.
like just now we bought Willow Tree,
$5,000. That's because you had a sales rep.
but
in
they
there.
give you dating, like 90 days dating, free freight, whatever. It's an incentive, and it works out good that way. So 3,000 for child and 5,000 for us today.
Well, let's say you get it in October, November, December. Those are your months you're going to sell it, so we don't owe it till December. So we've sold through most of it. So and we make some mistakes too, but you got to kind of try it before you go too much. But those are established.
And
Allied,
we keep reordering the same
Yeah.
stuff and it sells
Yeah.
good. We keep,
Okay, got it.
you know, like new
You see
baby or
what
wedding or
works.
something
Right.
like that, or you know.
So does Hallmark have like a playbook, like a guideline of what you can?
yeah, they have a
sell?
rule book. Yeah,
They
they
do.
have,
Yeah.
they have a
How big is that? Is it pretty lengthy or? I mean, are they strict or are they?
Well,
pretty
nothing naughty or nasty that doesn't go with the Hallmark label, you know.
Right. 'Cause
They
you're
have a
representing
guide.
the brand.
Yeah.
They have a guidebook to go by that gives the rules,
Mm-hmm.
how to be a Gold Crown store, what you have to have in your store to be a Gold Crown store.
Like you can't have cigarettes or condoms or stuff like that. That would be more like at a
The
convenience
lottery, you
store.
can't do the lottery.
No, I mean we
We can
can't do
carry
it.
some. We can carry some CBDs or what do you call that?
Oh, the pills.
Oh, really?
Well, you carry some of the lotions and things you put on your hands.
Yeah.
You know, one company, but most of us are controversial. You can't do that.
Okay.
But they want everything within good taste. Like that Lori Loughlin and Marlene, when
Yeah.
they got. I mean, when you do bad things like that, you know, they fire you right away. And she's out.
Yeah.
And they've got rid of Hallmark stores too because they've done bad things. Where we do everything, we try to do everything according to the book.
Yeah.
Stick with the rules. Keep your nose clean.
Have you ever gotten in trouble before?
No.
You guys are pretty clean.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we.
cuff us.
They never said you have less than 60% Hallmark stuff.
No.
Yeah, do they audit you at all?
No,
No.
Really? So you don't have like
We have a sales rep.
shoppers
We have a sales
or-
rep that
we have a
comes
sales
through.
rep that comes
Oh,
in.
okay.
And they could maybe mention that's our product, you know, but
They've gotten loose. They
yeah.
used to have 10,000 stores 10 years ago. Now they're down to about 1,000.
Okay.
So they don't have as many stores as they used to. They're losing a lot of stores
Mhm.
due to people retiring
Mm-hmm.
and the nature of retail. It's evolving.
Yeah.
But we're still good because people still like to shop in a regular brick and mortar store
Yeah.
and have one-on-one conversations with the people that work there.
Yeah, you guys have a very loyal following.
Yeah, very loyal
Mhm.
following. And they enjoy coming in and talking to the girls. And I guess like a home away from home.
And besides the relationships that you've built, do you do any advertising?
Hallmark, we pay a certain fee to Hallmark, and they send out leaflets and brochures to the customers that are on.
Yeah, like about the ornament
Hallmark
premiere or
list.
the open house
Okay.
or the Christmas in
And
December.
I do outside postcards too from another company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we
So you do
have
mailers.
mailers.
Mailers, okay. Do you do anything digital? Like email?
Yeah, Keith does that.
Online? He
He
does?
don't do that for us at all.
Mm-mm.
Keith does that. Yeah, Keith does Facebook and he goes
Okay.
on.
Social
Social
media?
stuff. Yeah, social media.
Instagram, Facebook.
You got to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and it keeps people of what's going on. Looking at their phones and by emails.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the good thing is Facebook and Instagram are free.
Yeah.
But how much would you say are your total marketing costs
well, it's about $400 a month to Hallmark.
a month? Okay.
About 48,000 a year.
No,
Wait,
no,
4,800.
4,800 a year.
Okay.
I'll say 5,000.
That's not bad.
But a guy do postcards, the bounce backs are called. You give them a card, and
In
they
the
come
store.
back the following time with, and they get something for free if they spend $10. You know.
Oh, like promos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We do a lot of promos.
Nothing in the
No
newspaper.
newspaper. It
No.
doesn't work. Newspaper, we tried that.
They don't see it. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. We go to the Playboy channel once in a while.
Those
Gee,
I had to dress up like
are
a
the right people.
snowman once and flip a sign.
That's right.
No, I didn't. Did I?
So for your store, what's the biggest season?
Christmas.
Your top season?
Yeah.
Christmas.
October,
And
November,
Valentine's
December.
after that.
Christmas and then Valentine's. And then...
The fourth quarter you do 3/4 of your business. it seems
Wait,
like.
what about the ornament premiere though in July? We do a
Mhm.
lot in that too.
Well, yeah, the ornament premiere in July.
July.
That's big, and then the Christmas, the fourth quarter.
And the open house is November.
Fourth quarter
Okay, but that's Christmas,
Yeah.
November, December.
is busy. It's
Yeah.
busy. Yeah.
Valentine's is pretty because they're used to spending in December.
Mhm.
So Valentine's Day they're back again, you know, because they know they can get more cards and candy and stuff. So that's probably
So do you know your biggest like sales day on record? Or like an estimate, like what's big for you?
Well, the day after Christmas normally. The day after
probably
Christmas,
yeah.
we saw our ornaments at 40% off. Plus Christmas is all 50% off. So
Gift wrap.
we do a lot of business then.
Yeah.
That's number one, I'd say. We do most of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And then ornaments would be second.
Ornament premiere.
Premiere in July.
So how much would you pull in from like the day after Christmas?
We'll do about
Figures.
20,000.
Let me go look.
In one day?
Roughly,
I can't think right now.
around 20.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
estimates are
that's a
fine.
big day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys were impacted by the pandemic also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it different than the Great Recession?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Recession, you were still open. But this thing you closed to have the middle of March through all of April,
Yeah.
and the landlords don't care about that. They still want their rent. They
Yeah.
want their money.
Yeah. And we were closed 5 weeks, weren't we? 5
Yeah.
weeks. So we had at least 1 month, 2 months we had to pay the rent, which we didn't have as much income.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I got
Yeah.
I got PPP from the government, which hopefully it goes through everything. That
Mhm.
where I paid the employees,
Right.
and they came back to work and kept them on.
Yeah, you guys have experienced a lot.
Yeah, and now business is picking up. It's still not like it used to be.
No.
So looking back over your 20 plus years as business owners, like what were some of the biggest lessons that you've learned? Or what are some of the mistakes that you've made and learned from?
Well, you make mistakes by ordering the wrong merchandise, and I'm a good one for that.
Mm-hmm.
What did you order?
I can't remember, but I always buy. Sometimes I buy stuff that didn't sell too good. Have to mark it down.
I'd say, I told you so. Or he'd tell me that, I told you
Well,
so.
just recently I bought these bears.
Mhm.
They're like, thank you, caregiver or
Doctor,
doctor.
nurse.
They're with scrubs on, and they bombed out.
Yeah. So we had to mark those
Really?
way
Down
down.
the costs now on those.
Yeah.
So you buy a few bad things, but
But when you make a decision like that, are you buying based on your personal experience?
yeah,
Right? 'Cause
well that plus what's going on at the time.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, the pandemic, you
Right.
figure people are gonna buy these things and get them for their.
right.
But
Yeah.
for some reason, they were outside. They weren't selling, so they went from $13.99 to $5.99, two for $10, just to get them the heck out of the store.
They could also be for somebody that graduated from nursing school, or
Mhm.
a new doctor, new nurse.
Well, then whenever we had a mistake, we'd always mark it down and get rid of it.
Yeah.
You don't keep your mistakes.
No, you don't wait.
And one of the best things we could ever did was Beanie Babies.
Mm-hmm.
We maxed out on those, and we sold tens of thousands of dollars in Beanie Babies
Wow.
over a short period, a couple of years.
So that was a success story. For Beanie
Yeah.
Babies.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success stories. Puzzles sell like crazy.
Now, 'cause there's nothing to do, right?
Yeah,
Poster?
and
Math and
greeting
puzzles.
cards, because we sell a lot of greeting cards.
Yeah.
There's still the special Hallmark Gold Crown greeting cards that are better quality than the ones you find in Publix or Walgreens.
Are they different?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
You look at the back, they're different too.
Oh.
Expressions, I
Good to
think, are CVS and
Mm-hmm.
Publix. Sometimes we would get in boxes from Publix, cards by mistake. And I could tell right away when I opened them up, I looked at the back and saw that I got a package slip. Called Publix, come on, get your
I'm
cards.
gonna sprain my knee and go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Can I get through you, right?
Try.
Thank you.
Should we stop pause the interview?
Yeah.
We
You
keep
take
going.
intermission. We're almost
Okay.
done. So.
Okay.
Oh,
keep
keep
talking,
going.
right?
Keep
That's
going.
okay. I'll just sprain my knee.
All right. Now tell the truth. What other mistakes did you make?
Well, location too.
Okay.
Location.
That's a good one.
Sarasota, the store closed, and it was a fairly good location. So we took it over, all the fixtures, merchandise, and invested a lot of money in it. It just never took off. The shopping center, it was a bad shopping center. But from projections, it was going to be good. But you never know. So I kept moaning to the owners of the center. He said, he was like, I think a Czech or a foreigner, Ray, I'm tired of you complaining about my center. If you don't like it, I'll get you out of the lease, okay? Okay. So we packed everything up and stored it all away. And there was a big store that went out next to Target on Fruitville Road. So Keith was there working as a client and said, these people are going out, would you like the locations? We drove over there and looked at them. Good bustling center, but the rent factor was high. But we thought we could do it. Hallmark thought, well, should be able to do it. So So we moved everything over to that location and reset it. And Hallmark, they came in with their crew and helped set it up. So we did that, and that went for 5 years.
Okay.
And I started complaining to that guy. And after a while, he got tired of me complaining to him. But it was a big corporation, see, he was just like a little pig and all that. And I said, well, our lease will be up next year. I said, I'm out. I thought, I'm through, finished. Well, what if we get you out earlier? You can save that rent. It was like $7,000 a month rent.
Wow.
And I said, well, what do you mean? We got somebody else that wants the location. I said, fine. So I marked everything down. Well, Kevin was there. We started off at 40%. And within a month, we were out of there.
That's quick.
And QVC went in there. They put in one of their stores with surplus of TV stuff.
Oh, okay.
And they added to the back and made it real pretty. And so they were doing the volume, but they could pay the rent, which is probably a lot more.
Okay.
But I have a couple figures for her. Like last July, this would be in Ornament Premier. Just in one day was like 5,348. And our normal day is like 500. That was Ornament in July. And then December, like you said, the day after Christmas, let's see, we did 8,400 the day after, which it's usually under 1,000, you know.
Oh, what? They have, what, last year?
Here, this is December,
Go back a couple of years. Okay.
8,000, oh, well, the year before was 11,300.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, but see,
so they want to get it on sale.
all that, is it 8,000?
Yeah.
Or 11,000? That's half
Yeah,
of what it would have been otherwise.
yeah, it's 50% off, so it would have been
Right.
16,008,
Yeah.
so it's 8,004.
But we're not making any money, but we're
But we
getting rid of a
made
bunch of-
some above, you know, like 2 weeks
You're
before.
liquidating your overstock and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And they look forward to that. You can't
Walmart
get away
does-
with it.
They all do the same thing.
Everybody marks down after
Years ago at
Christmas.
Walmart, when I first started, they packed up their Easter. They packed up all their seasonal stuff, and then they brought it down.
Mhm.
Then they learned over the years just to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Yeah.
Instead of having it, and it gets shop worn, and these.
See, and look in November too, last year. That's just Thanksgiving, but they're leading up to Christmas. We did 86,000 for November.
Mhm.
So so most of it was not held back till December. It's like they get excited like October. Yeah, October's like 52,000, then 86 in November for the whole month, and then 145,000 in December. This is like 2018.
Wow. So December is,
Yeah.
is the biggest.
Yeah,
Well,
so
December's the
that's 3 or
biggest,
4
right?
days that we have good days, but
Like this year with the pandemic,
we won't be. No.
unless we're shut down, I think people are going to be wanting to go out and buy. They want feel-good stuff, okay? Feel-good stuff.
Mhm.
They come in, they find feel-good stuff in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They can feel me, they can feel
Well,
Marlo.
and then they can buy stuff even for next year, like wrapping paper and stuff, and they feel good that they're getting a bargain, to hide it in their closet.
Yeah, then we always give these coupons and things, come back, spend more money. They appreciate that. They feel special. They come back.
Rewarded.
They're
Yeah.
rewarded. Yeah. That's what it all boils down to, really.
Now, does Hallmark give you like nationwide like a ranking of the stores? Do they do anything?
No,
No.
we don't know.
It's just
Well,
you do your own
the
thing.
people used to know, they're all gone.
Mm.
There's only one guy we know. He's in Greg Brown over on where he used to live over there. What's it called?
Hunters Creek?
Hunters Creek. There's a Hallmark store in Hunters Creek. He's the only guy I know. Everybody else that I've known has gone by the wayside.
And Keith
And
sells
we haven't even
again.
talked to him, so we don't know.
No.
The only person we really talk to is we go on Hallmark Retail Connect or our sales rep, which anymore we just don't do anything. It was either.
But you don't have to report. You don't report your numbers to Hallmark, though.
No.
No.
Well,
Track it.
well, see, we can go into detail, Michelle. Port Charlotte has a different system than we have when it comes to registers.
They're more digital with tracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're on the cloud. It's called the Win system. They all their stuff goes right to Hallmark.
Oh.
So everything goes to Hallmark, their store. They can't do any what you call cheating of any kind or anything out of the ordinary. They have to. Everything's got to be there, and their the inventory control. They have it all there because Nancy does that. She was brought up that way. But here,
Yeah.
we have our own. I didn't want to get the Win system because it was too complicated back when they started, and we're not that savvy on all that stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't think it's any of their business what I do, but
So you're not required
no,
to
No.
record it. You can't.
no, I can. And if they like end of the year stuff, I give it to them. I have nothing to hide. But our trouble is we have no in Lakeland. We have no inventory control. We do it all hands on.
Like, ooh, right?
Yeah, that's how we do all our
Let's just
down
get
there.
a figure.
She could go in there and say, "Oh, I got 2 left here. I can go in. I got 2 of these." And if you go to Auto Discount Parts or anybody else, they key in what they have on hand still. Walmart too. They all have. So when I first started with Walmart, they just got the satellites in each store, and they could directly connect with Bentonville. It was really amazing. And we'd have video conferencing every Friday evening from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8, where the big shot would be in Bentonville, sitting behind his desk, talking to every store in the country in the one room we had set up for with the TV screen back in the 80s. It was pretty interesting. I mean, innovation from way back then. And that's how Sam Long got. He had the University of Arkansas. They used to brainstorm on communication, on how to do things faster. Woolworths was like paper. You send a letter out, "Oh, okay, we're going to do this." About a month later, you got it done. Walmart, within an hour or 2, you're done. You're through. You got it done.
Yeah.
Whatever they said, mark this down. It was done right away.
It's more efficient.
Yeah, efficiency, communication,
Yeah.
technology, everything, POS system.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart perfected all that. That's why they're so big. They have inventory control. They know how to do things. That's why they're like they are. And so many of them have passed by the wayside because they didn't comprehend a lot of this.
So do you feel like your experience in retail attributed to your success in being a business owner?
Yeah. Say it again.
Kind of prepped you for
Working with my experience like with Woolworths and Walmart. Yeah, all that combined. Even as a grocery store I worked at, doing there and learning how to display stuff and put cans of stuff out and cut the lettuce. There's a system, a way to do everything. In Woolworths were the same way, and schematics. Everybody set up the same program on the side of a counter. Every store did the same. He had a picture he went by, and the guy that could have made it good for us, Al Parker. He was a mean son of a gun, young guy, but he was dynamic. He had a program. It's called the Do It Now program. He mailed it out once a month or so in a brochure. And as soon as you got the brochure, you made sure the merchandise was ordered and you set up the display just like you wanted. It showed how much profit you were making on it and all that other stuff. And he had a plan in place before Woolco went out. He would have been the fair guy to take over. But the old farts that didn't know much about anything overstepped him. And we had just gotten computers in too. It was like that, twice as big as that. And it was always had a big wheel in it, like a big wheel. It was keeping track of everything. And it was amazing to us because they installed this little room with an air conditioner, and we could go downstairs and key in and get a sales right up to that minute of all the registers in the store, which we never could do before. So it was like we were having all kinds of fun with that. And we just tried to progress along, and all of a sudden they closed all the stores. And they could have been, if they would have had the vision as big as Walmart. But, you know, it's like everything else. But go ahead, what else?
So we're basically wrapping this up, but would either of you have any advice to anyone that wants to start their own business?
Well, number one, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
Nothing is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they better have money. They better have enough money,
Backup, yeah.
backup money,
Hmm.
and a good business plan. Have a good business plan in projected sales, expenses, all the expenses involved, the workman's comp, insurance, you get electric bill, telephone bill,
I forgot to ask earlier on.
Rent.
Did you ever consult with like attorneys, CPAs, or anything before you launched?
yeah.
You did.
I consulted with a CPA that went to our church, and before I got started with buying the store in Lakeland, I sat down with him, and he'd been a CPA for years. And I said to him, "What do you think? Here's what I'm planning on doing." And he looked me in the eye and said, "Never work." he said, "Too many stores have what you have." That's why I explained to him how different we were. But in his brain, he could just see cars, Publix, Walmart, and everybody else with cars. And I got a bill in the mail like a month later for $60-some for a consultation fee. So he still goes to our church, I think, but I didn't use him for a CPA.
Mm.
And I proved him wrong.
Yeah.
But he tried to shoot down my program. And really, he was a guy with knowledge, you know. And I also went to the what's it called?
What?
A bunch of old farmers get together. They have an organization that works with people that are starting businesses. Small businesses. There's a name for them.
Rotary Club.
Huh?
Rotary Club.
No.
Boy Scouts of America.
No.
I can't think of it either.
But I went to him. They were located on Ingram Drive in Lakeland. Had an office there. And he went to the store. He sat out in front for like a day, watching the people going in and out, analyzing everything. And he did mention that. You know, he said, "Well, you know, give it a try. If this is what you want." He knew my history. He knew what I wanted. He knew where I'd been, and I was getting tired of Walmart. But I forget his name, and I forget the name of the company. It was they were all volunteers. The organization, they're probably still there, but they help out people that are looking for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot all about him. We talked a number of times. Went to his house one time.
Well, we gave it our all about.
Oh
I
yeah,
used
you
to
gotta
work 6 days
give
a
it
week.
100%.
I was only off Sundays for the first few
Yeah,
years.
put down 110%.
110%.
Yeah. At least
Not
I-
100%.
You have to be
You gotta-
Well,
dedicated
yeah.
and committed.
You just want to stay the whole day and make sure it
Yeah.
finishes out. You know.
Yeah.
No, that's good advice. So the last question I had is, so what does the future hold for you and the 2 stores that you have remaining?
Well, we retired 15 years ago,
Failed at that, didn't we?
but I can't physically do it anymore.
Yeah, we think we're ending it. You know.
And
Our
we-
legs are
we-
giving
we-
out.
by keeping busy and keeping your mind occupied and working, you can live longer. have a goal to shoot for. Okay, as a kid,
Mhm.
if you sit home, retire, and just stare at the wall, you're not gonna make it.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't keep going. We think the stores have kept us busy and
Yeah.
healthy, and having a goal, like you say. So
A
otherwise, we
purpose.
would maybe one of us have been gone by now. We
It's
just
not
can't-
that we're not really burned out. We're just physically.
no. It's just like it's time.
Yeah.
I can only do a little bit of what I used to do.
Yeah.
So what's your time frame, do you think now, realistically? Like next year?
First of the- first of
two?
next
Yeah,
year.
probably the first of next year after the Christmas, season.
Every year I say that we stay around.
And Keith says he's buying a house in Lakeland. They're gonna
Oh.
write a house right around the corner. They want to take over the store, but he's not able
Uh.
either. He'll get old like us, and
Hmm.
you can't travel. You can't do anything fun. We just put everything
Well,
in
you-
that.
He's got a spot on his lung, so you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little spot. That's nothing, probably. They think it's just, they're not concerned about it.
But
They're happy.
Nancy said he was huffing and puffing going up and down the stairs
Well,
the other day.
Yeah, because they're gonna do something and give him maybe one of those inhalers
Mhm.
because he's lost some of his lung function. So he's not. I mean, what we've done, it's hard to do.
Yeah. We
People don't
don't-
realize how hard you have to work when you have your own business.
Mhm.
Mm.
Really. And for a long time they said, how'd you guys do it? Well, we worked our asses off, plus we were not physically impaired, where I am now.
And we don't want Keith to think he has to do it,
Mhm.
No.
because then he'll, we don't want
And
anything
everybody
to
has their
happen
own
to
life
him.
too. If you guys have yours,
Yeah.
he's got his with his.
Yeah.
So you're okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
today.
Right.
They're retiring at the condo.
Oh no. We ever get down there
I mean,
and Kimmy's out of there.
it's going to be a change, but I'll still have the store down there for another year.
Yeah, Nancy will still run that
Oh.
So
one.
or at least go
Okay.
through
So
2020.
we can still order and stuff,
Mhm.
but not physically work.
But go to Atlanta. I'd love to do that again, but
That's a lot of walking.
well, I have that little chair thing too. But there's a lot of walking.
Oh, so you close Lakeland store, but keep the other one open?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that way we have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sprain my leg. I'm gonna sprain my leg.
You're gonna spray a leg on
Is that the end, end of the
Yeah.
interview?
That's it.
I think that wraps it.
All right.
Those are
Good job.
questions, too.
Thank
Well,
you
I mean,
guys so much.
I didn't know. I really you do like you're doing stuff saying, okay, right here, look at the cameras.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'd have to read all that
It's just
because
more
all that stuff I gave
conversational.
you.
This is very helpful.
It was that should help you out. Plus all the stuff like
You didn't ask any really deep questions you didn't ask about the swastika wrapping paper they used to sell.
Well, that was one of his
And
mistakes.
also-
Hallmark did that. Well, they didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
And they don't have a Muslim. They have a Muslim section for cards for Christmas. And
Well, the German card we had with Adolf Hitler on the front with a Nazi
Wait, do
swastika.
you have a Hanukkah section?
Yeah, Hanukkah. Yeah.
You do.
and they don't sell Gone with the Wind ornaments anymore.
Oh, that's right.
All right, that's a wrap.